Hello everyone, welcome back to my series on ANSYS Workbench and ANSYS SpaceClaim. In this video, you shall be learning about the basics of ANSYS SpaceClaim. And I would say it's a very user-friendly, easy to learn and easy to use CAD design software which is inbuilt into ANSYS, and it's much easier as compared to the traditional CAD design softwares, and you need not be afraid of learning another CAD design software. It's very easy to use, and I shall be explaining to you in this video on how to create a 2D sketch. I will also take you to the most important shortcut keys which will help you to use ANSYS SpaceClaim, and finally I shall also explain to you about the pull tool which is used to convert a two-dimensional sketch into a three-dimensional sketch. So let's get started. The ANSYS Workbench screen, and when you click on geometry, when you right click on this, you can see that you have two options to prepare your CAD geometry. One is the SpaceClaim, which I think is more easy to learn if you don't know any software, and the other is Design Modeler, and I think I find it personally a bit difficult as compared to SpaceClaim. So, but if you know it and if you know how to use Design Modeler, you can go ahead with designing your model in it. So you can click the ANSYS SpaceClaim. It takes a while to open. You will definitely develop patience while using ANSYS. Okay, so I think this is some geometry which I made earlier. I will refresh it. If you need to refresh any geometry, just right click on it and click on reset. So your geometry will be deleted and you will have a fresh geometry to design for. Yep, it's opened. So this is the interface of ANSYS SpaceClaim, and these are the three axes XYZ. First thing that you need to decide is the plane in which you are going to create your 2D sketch. So you need to select this sketch a new plane option, which is the second option in these four options available at the bottom. So after clicking this, you need to select the plane, the two-dimensional plane in which you are going to create your sketch. So as you can hover your mouse, you can find that it will give you options to select the sketch. So let us sketch in the XY plane. This is the XY plane. So this is going to be our two-dimensional sketch plane, and now I'll introduce you with the first shortcut key, which is V, and that will give you the plan view or the view facing the two-dimensional sketch. You can also get this view by clicking on plan view, this small I, the fourth icon in the bottom. But I generally feel that you should remember this shortcut key V, which will come very handy as you use ANSYS SpaceClaim. So before creating the geometry, the other important thing to do is to select the right units, because ANSYS sometimes selects micrometer as its default unit and your geometry may be ranging in millimeters. So the way to do that is click on File, click on SpaceClaim options here, and then you will have an option tab of units, and you can change your units to millimeters or centimeters. So now that your units are set and you know the shortcut key to obtain the plan view, which is pressing the V key, and the next shortcut key is R, which will help you to make a rectangle. After pressing R, you can choose the point from where the rectangle will start, and you can choose the dimensions of the rectangle by pressing the tab key, and you can enter your dimensions. Suppose our side is 10 millimeters on one side and 20 millimeters on the other. After choosing them, you can press enter and your rectangle is created. The next shortcut key is also useful, and that is the L key, which will help you to create a line. So after pressing L, you can make a line. So apart from these shortcuts, you have these options on the top over here. The option to create a rectangle and the option to create a circle and a line and many other options. But I think the most useful options are these three. And the other thing in CAD designing is you can't be so inaccurate, or you cannot do approximate placement of the lines or rectangles. So the other useful thing to know is the shift key, which will help you to find out the distance from one of the reference edges. Suppose you want to create a line which is 15 millimeters away from this point. So you need to press on shift, hover your mouse to the right, and you can find that now this point is 10 millimeters away from that chosen point. And suppose you want to create a line which is 15 millimeters away. So here you can choose your point and your line is created. Let's create another rectangle, and I will take you to another interesting feature, which is defining the rectangle from center. And this is also quite useful, I can say, if you wish to define your rectangle from the center and not from one of its corners. So again, you have the option to fill the two parameters, the length and breadth. Let's say 20 millimeters by 10 millimeters. So this rectangle is defined from its center. You can choose either of these options. Once your two-dimensional geometry is created, you need to press on the next shortcut key, which is D, and that will make your two-dimensional geometry into a surface, or that will further help you to make it into a three-dimensional geometry. So you need to press on D. The next useful shortcut key, which is also used extensively, is the capital H key, and that will provide you with the three-dimensional isometric view of this surface. And this is quite useful to further work upon this two-dimensional geometry, to create it into to pull it or to cut it. So the next feature I'm about to explain is the pull feature. As soon as you press D and H, you need not press anything else, or you need not even select any option here of pulling or moving. ANSYS automatically provides you with a pull option. You can just see that if you hover your mouse over any of the surfaces, you can find two arrows on either sides of this surface, which are prompting you to pull these surfaces. The way to pull that is just click and hover your mouse. You have an option of filling the dimensions. Don't release the mouse before entering your dimensions. Just press the dimensions which you desire and then release your mouse. Press enter. So you have a three-dimensional geometry. But this was pulled in only one direction. But suppose you wish to pull in two directions. So after clicking on the surface, on the left side of the options, you have this option of pulling on both sides. Just click on that. Again, go back to the surface. Left click on that surface and drag. So it will, ANSYS SpaceClaim will enable you to pull that surface in both directions, and you need to enter the dimensions of the Z axis, I can say. So let's say 15 millimeters, and your geometry is pulled in both directions. Suppose you have pulled a bit extra and you wish to cut some of that extra created geometry. So the method is clicking on cut here on the left, again clicking on the surface, and just after clicking your mouse, just taking your mouse inwards into the geometry. And suppose you want to cut the geometry by 5 millimeters, just enter the dimension and your geometry is cut now. So let's pull this surface, and let's say I don't want to pull on both sides, just one side is okay for me. I will just press left on my mouse button and drag my mouse, enter the dimensions and release. So it's very easy and very fast. You can create any geometry. Now when you have two nearby adjacent surfaces and if you try to pull them, ANSYS will automatically merge the three-dimensional geometries which you create and you will get irritated by it. But the way out is to press on this no merge option, then press on the surface. So your no merge option on the left side is selected, you can see that, and then you can pull the surface into the three-dimensional geometry and release. You can see that you have two separate bodies created. The other shortcut key is the generally used Ctrl Z if you want to just go back. So I will show you, I will pull without pressing this merge option, and you can see that ANSYS SpaceClaim will automatically merge these two geometries. You can see here, and even in the structure tree you can find the number of solids created. So it's better to press the no merge option when you pull adjacent surfaces, and if you wish to create them into different solids, actually making a different solid will provide you a better control. The structure tree on the left shows you the total number of geometries, the independent geometries. So you can see that we have 3 solids and 1 surface. So before that, let us pull this leftover surface also. Since I didn't select the no merge option, you can see that it is trying to merge these two. I'll click no merge option, make my geometry. So now we must be having 4 solids, and you can click on the structure tree which will provide you with the total number of solids or surfaces in your geometry, and this is a very useful tab, the structure tree. And you have all the solids named as solid by default. You can right click on that and give your unique name to each solid by renaming them. And in order to easily identify your solids, you can click on this display tab on the left, choose your solid from the structure tree, and you can assign a different color to your solid, and that will help you to easily distinguish the bodies. So I think that's it for this video. We learned how to create a 2-dimensional sketch. The first thing we learned is to choose the units and choose the 2-dimensional plane in which we have to create our solid, and the most important feature of pull. We also learned some shortcut keys, and which are V and H. I hope you don't forget them. They are very handy. So thank you for watching.